Welcome back, guys. Today I am heading to Mt Pulaski, Illinois. I grew up in a small town. I love small towns, and we're just gonna check out a few things in Mt Pulaski. So before I get there, I'm a few miles outside of Mt Pulaski right now, and this is just one of my favorite things on this road. I don't know if my camera's picking it up very well or not, but on that hillside, the owners of this property have mowed into the grass, and it's always here. It's year round. God heart you. God loves you. You got the cross. They've got an American flag, and it's just along the hillside in a perfect way that you can see it as you drive down the road. I just had my delicious slice of Casey's pizza. If you're from the Midwest, you know how good that is, and it's a staple in every small town. And I'm just driving around town, just looking for stuff to document and check out. I've got a affinity, I don't know if that's the proper word or not. I like seeing these little areas right here. Some people may hate them. Got your old Marathon sign there. I'm guessing that was a grain or soy bin or something. I don't know, but you got your bin that's been turned into a home, it looks like. This crane has probably been sitting here for 30 years. Who knows? I have no idea how long. Steps back into the past. I think that's why I appreciate these things. Steps into the past. Something about looking through some buildings and you see the edge of town, you see out to the plowed cornfields. Obviously there's nothing there now. It's almost December. Feels very peaceful and quiet, and I grew up in a very small town, so this is what I like. I don't live in a town that small anymore. I can't look, a couple blocks down the road and see cornfields or anything like that. And so I still get very reminiscent when I see things to that nature. Mount Pulaski is named after Casimir Pulaski. Casimir Pulaski was a Polish man who served in the Revolutionary War. He was a hero. He is one of 8 people I read on the old interwebs, one of 8 people to be given honorary U.S. citizenship. So he's been credited with saving George Washington's life. I'm not a historian, so I won't explain how that happened. You guys can look that up and find that information just as I did. I'll probably screw it up if I try to go into too many details. The reason Mount Pulaski is named after Casimir Pulaski is he is credited with saving the life of George Turley's father. George Turley was a man in this community, and he was given the rights to name the town. I don't know the details why. Again, I'm just finding this stuff on the internet. Wikipedia is what told me this part. So George Turley's father was saved by Casimir Pulaski, so hey, let's name it Mt Pulaski. This courthouse became the seat in Logan County, and it says on the sign, that's where I picked this information up specifically, in 1848. It was the seat of Logan County for 5 years. Before 1848, Postville Courthouse. I've done a video on Postville Courthouse and a lot of the Abraham Lincoln stuff in Lincoln, Illinois. So if you haven't seen that one, check that video out. But anyways, Mr. Lincoln himself, in his earlier days when he was a lawyer, he practiced court here. And this building, they say, at least I read on the internet, they talk about the original floors. As I discussed before, Postville Courthouse is a recreation. It's my understanding that this is the original building right here that the Mt Pulaski Courthouse was in. And as this sign says, also, Stephen Douglas, he practiced law here. I think I said practice court earlier, didn't I? Yeah, Abraham Lincoln practiced law here, not court. And anyways, it moved back to Lincoln after Postville became Lincoln. And it was used as a schoolhouse, the city hall, and the post office. The state of Illinois acquired this building in 1936. Another trait of small towns is the one big water tower that they all usually have. I don't think a lot of them are right downtown on the square, though. Mt Pulaski's first school bell, right here. This was dedicated in 1986. Let's see if I can quickly read on there when this school bell was made. Oh, this is the oldest and largest bell of Logan County. This bell was used as a fire bell from 1877 to 1936. It was used on the school from 1858 to 1877. 1858 is when this was made. I'm hitting up a lot of history and nostalgia today, but Pizza Man. I've eaten in this Pizza Man, I think it was once, and pretty darn good food. But this is, I don't even know what to say about it. It's your small town, pretty good quality pizza place. It was a quiet night. Everybody in there but myself knew each other. I'm not very good at describing the feelings, but if you guys know, you know. If you're from a small town, you just know these small town vibes. Of course, we have our bar restaurant. It's closed right now. It is active. You see the signs that they have posted sitting outside the window there, or outside the front door. The Mt Pulaski Museum. This is the Logan County Visitors Welcome Center. Unfortunately, it's closed today. That might be pretty interesting to check out. Mt Pulaski Hilltop Club. I wonder what that is. We have a styling shop. I don't know what this one is. I don't know if this is an antique shop or a gift shop, but it's got a very Christmassy decorated front window. Let's go check it out. Can you guys see the ceiling? Let's see if I can get rid of the glare on this window. Oh yeah, I love these downtown buildings in that. Is that a tile? Metal tile? I don't know what we call those. I love those ceilings though. Those are historic. This is a business of some sort. It's not open today, but very cute, very quaint little entryway. Market on the Hill, a small community grocery store. I don't want to go in and bother anybody today, but insurance agent. And of course, these towns always have a few of these unoccupied buildings that somebody I'm sure owns and keeps storage stuff going on in there. Figure I'd come over closer to this side of the street and see if we saw anything interesting in the windows of these buildings. Room to roam. Oh, Stahl's Furniture. Stahl's Furniture was a much larger outside of town furniture store that people would come from all around. But I wonder if they had a showroom downtown or if they started here. I don't know. I'm familiar with them starting here. And then City Hall. Now, we just a few minutes ago looked at the memorial, the bell that was from the school in the 1800s, and I think it read that it was the largest in Logan County. Maybe that was the largest school bell because this one is much bigger. And this holds a place for me because I was a volunteer firefighter at a point in my life as well. So this is a memorial tribute to volunteer firemen serving the Mt Pulaski community since March 13th, 1885 by the Phoenix Fire Department. I think in these videos you guys might get a taste of what draws my eye. These old abandoned buildings. I've got a love for them. Anyways, we're up here on the hill. I couldn't see this when I was down on the street. You can look right out to the fields, the wide open fields of central Illinois. I wanted to step up here and check out the nice little gazebo and Christmas tree they have. I'm betting that these bricks were a fundraiser probably for this gazebo or for restoration of the area. I don't know that for a fact, so Don't hold me to that one, but it looks like they were all purchased by donation or something to that effect. I hope there's some of you guys out there that appreciate these videos that I do like this. I don't really see anybody else doing this, but like I said, I have fun making these ones. I literally feel myself just slow down and relax when I'm doing it. Hopefully it's not too boring for you. Maybe you enjoy just seeing and stopping, and you haven't gotten out into these small towns recently, but if YouTube found you in this corner of it and you're checking out my stuff here and spending 10 or 15 minutes with me on this small town, just walking around the square and whatnot, I hope you can appreciate it like I appreciate doing it. Clearly this used to be a bakery, although now it says the sign says cafe and it's for sale. I'll say that this small town square is actually more occupied than a lot of them. Most of these buildings have something in them. I don't want to be peeking in the windows of the bank with a camera, so we're gonna just look at that one from here and then move our way over here. That might be how you get yourself in trouble. Calm Creek Cafe. I would venture to guess it's closed, but their sign had some charm to it. Definitely closed. There's more of that tile we were talking about. See, buildings just, they were designed differently. Maybe that's part of why I like these towns, because in these areas, because you get to, and that's probably somebody's apartment up there. You know, that's just a fun way to live your life, I guess. Different way. Downtown on the square, upstairs. I know in my younger years, had a few friends that lived in those type of areas, and we'd check them out. And it's always just really cool and fun. Usually it's a wide open apartment. A lot of fun. But the structure, there's design to it. There's effort. There's more than just practicality and, you know, drywall, sheetrock, whatever. We can look in this building and see that tile. What could it be? What could you make out of it? The potential. That's what draws me, the potential. This is a salon opening soon. It's not open yet. Very cool. I like that. And this place, I don't know what it is, but they have Christmas trees for sale. I would dare say we find relics like this more often in these small towns than in a larger town. Old classic trucks. Things that have been sitting for years. And when you live in these towns, you're used to seeing it every day, so this might not be as impressive or cool to you. It's nothing that you take note of, you don't worry about. But for me, I'm driving through town and I haven't seen this truck before, and I just really enjoy it. I appreciate it. What does this have to do with small towns or history or Mount Pulaski? Absolutely nothing. But they have a White Castle sign on the back of their house. Hamburger specialist since 1921. I saw that from about a block and a half away, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go take a little shot of that. And since I'm on Corky, there's the White Castle. And I was getting back in my car and I looked up. There are doors on the top of that house's garage. I wonder if that's for easier access to store things in that barn. I don't know, but it was unique, so I was like, I'm gonna take a shot of that too. So I was walking around downtown and I knew there was one more thing about historic Mount Pulaski I wanted to check out. Little did I know it was right around the corner. There's the water tower I was just checking out. A mural. So let's just read what it says here to you. The Biplane Train Race, 1910. This historic race between a Wright Brothers biplane and an Illinois Central steam train took place on September 29th of 1910 from Washington Park in Chicago to the State Fairgrounds in Springfield, Illinois. Wilbur Wright was a passenger on the train. Walter R. Bookins piloted the biplane. The win established the first airline route in Illinois and won the $10,000 prize offered by the Record Herald newspaper. 2 world records were set at this landing, sustained flight of 88 miles, plus the record for long distance flight of 169 miles. The biplane averaged 33 miles per hour at the height of 1,000 feet, despite losing one wheel at Mt Pulaski. The open field marking the second refueling of the epoch. Making flight was owned by F.W. Overmiller. So that's pretty cool. The biplane, which I'm guessing looked just like this, lost a wheel outside Mt Pulaski. And they were almost home. You know, Springfield is only, I don't know, 30 more miles. Hope you like this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.